This video is a guide for new listeners who want to discover Scriabin's music. I'll recommend some pieces to start with and some tips on how to appreciate the genius of Scriabin. Let's go to the whiteboard. The first thing to know is that Scriabin's music is divided into 3 distinct eras. He sounds almost like a completely different composer between his early, middle, and late era. I recommend starting by sampling a piece from each era. You can begin with Opus 2 No. 1, Etude in C# minor, which Scriabin is well known for that he wrote at a very young age. For his middle era, I would listen to Opus 42 No. 5 since it's one of his greatest short pieces ever written. Then for his late era, I recommend listening to Vers la Flamme as it's one of his easiest to appreciate late era pieces. After you've had a taste of each era, I recommend exploring his early and middle eras extensively before moving on to his late era. Scriabin pioneered novel atonal harmony in his late era, so if you aren't familiar with his previous music, your ears could mistake his creative dissonance for incompetence. Most casual Scriabin listeners prefer his early and middle era music, while most devout Scriabin fanatics are fascinated by the innovative harmony and extreme gestures of his late era. Scriabin wrote only for piano and full orchestra. The first movement of his first symphony is a great piece that everyone can enjoy. The only pieces I might avoid in his early era are mazurkas, nocturnes, and impromptus. Generally though, almost everything Scriabin writes is great, my favorite of his genres being preludes, etudes, poems, and sonatas. As for pianist recordings, you can't go wrong listening to Horowitz and Ashkenazy. His 10 sonatas are arguably the greatest set of piano sonatas since Beethoven, and I recommend even to experienced listeners to listen to his sonatas in order. Once you've gotten a feel for his early era, an absolute must-listen Scriabin piece is the Poem of Ecstasy. It's his most famous orchestral work from his middle era, and it's a mind-blowing aesthetic experience that brings listeners to ecstasy. The very final pieces to listen to that are the most difficult to appreciate include Sonatas 8, 10, and Prometheus. Prometheus, the Poem of Fire is his last orchestral work, it's atonal, and his most ambitious and longest work. It took me more than 10 listens to appreciate it, but now I understand it as an absolute masterpiece. As for how to listen to Scriabin's music, you want to pick up on the repetition of musical motifs. I have videos that color code the use of motifs in the score, and it reveals how Scriabin develops a limited amount of motifs in each piece. His later music becomes more programmatic with loose storylines that are told through the use of illustrative motifs. Some of his late-era sonatas tell stories of divine transformation, while others are about evil corruption. Overall, Scriabin's music is unique and incomparable. His music is very stimulating, never having a dull moment from the start, and he intentionally creates climactic sections that are incredibly stimulating. I hope this video inspires you to listen to his music. I might have the only channel on all of YouTube that analyzes Scriabin's narratives, motifs, harmony, and more, so check out more of my videos. Check out my website, join the Discord, like, comment, and subscribe to continue your Scriabin listening journey.